Now, if you want to remain agile in ministry, how do you establish a team around you to help? Well, let's take a look at this 9-box that assesses a person's influence and their investment in your church and ministry. Don't just think about people who have little or maybe formal authority. Think about those who have informal authority and influence in your church as well. Now, first, we want to rate a person's influence as low, medium, or high. And next, we want to rate if that person's invested as low, medium, or high, and mark where those two lines intersect on this 9-box grid. Now, I suggest that you only focus on people that fall in the upper right-hand quadrants, as they're the most invested and most influential in your church. Now, in fact, I'm going to discuss these 4 types of people individually. It doesn't mean that you ignore anybody else, but when you're building a coalition to move forward and you want to ready your team, these are the people you focus on. For the highly influential and highly invested people, use them as spokespersons for this change that you're leading. Put them out front. Give them a microphone and make sure that you leverage their influence and buy-in to move forward, especially in the beginning of casting new vision or leading new change. For your rock stars that are highly influential and somewhat invested, you want to tie them strongly back to your church's mission and how you're realigning the ministries to carry that out now. You want to leverage their influence by finding them a role to do during this change process. Now, similarly, for your shareholders, they've got some influence, they've got some investment, so you want to really cast vision to them and earn their buy-in for the changes or adaptations that you're making, and then make the ask for a deeper involvement in the ministry and in the change. It's easier to increase their investment than it is their influence at this time. Now, as long as you make a clear ask that is tied to this new or changing work, they will be honored and they'll be energized by it. If it's not intentional, though, they can feel like you're just dumping on them. So you want to be really careful here with your shareholders. Now, for your MVPs, you want to have their faces and their stories up front and center as the change is being implemented and rolling out. This move may seem a little bit unexpected because they're not the most influential people, but they're very strategic. Bring their stories to the attention of others to build the credibility, to build the social proof. This is the everyday man getting behind the change versus the people that we all assume will be on board and be trotted up front in the beginning. Now, this can really build momentum in your church. It's a groundswell to bring over people to your cause who are still kind of sitting on the fence. Now, in the exercise for this step, you want to name names. You want to name the names of the people in the upper right-hand portion of this 9-box. And then you want to compare notes with your team and identify the people who are best suited to reach out to those people that you've identified so that you can then invite them to be a part of the change that you're leading.